I got a call from my son. Your beach house and car are sold. We're moving tomorrow. I smiled and said, that's fine, but you forgot one small detail. I never thought my own son would try to take everything from me, but there I was, staring at him, realizing his true, shocking plan. It was a cloudy Monday morning, but I still decided to brave the chill and drink my coffee out on the porch. I was wrapped in my old wool cardigan, watching the wind whip fallen leaves across the yard of the house Owen and I had shared for 37 years. It felt so big and empty now, just for me. The silence was suddenly broken by my phone ringing, and I immediately recognized Lionel's number. My son rarely called just to chat, you know? It was usually for some specific purpose, or to offer another rational suggestion for improving my life. Good morning, Lionel, I said, trying to keep my voice upbeat and energetic. The last thing I needed was him commenting on me sounding depressed or weak. Mom, are you up yet? I could hear the usual impatience in his voice. I want to stop by your place this afternoon. There are some things we need to discuss. What matters, dear? I asked, already bracing myself for an unpleasant conversation. Just financial matters. His tone said the opposite of nothing urgent. I'll be at your place around 2. He hung up without even waiting for my answer. I sighed and took another sip of my now cold coffee. At 67, I felt like a perfectly healthy and sane woman. But my son, who had recently turned 42, seemed to think otherwise. Ever since Owen passed away 5 years ago, Lionel had started treating me differently. At first, it was subtle. He'd speak louder and slower, as if I'd suddenly gone deaf or forgotten how to understand English. Then he started explaining the simplest things to me: how to use an ATM, how to fill out checks, how to set an alarm clock. All things I'd been perfectly capable of doing for the last 50 years. I got up and went inside. I needed to clean up before his visit. Sometimes I felt like I had to look absolutely immaculate so he wouldn't find another reason to worry about my condition. My house had always been my pride, a 2-story, 4-bedroom home with a spacious kitchen and a garden I tended myself. Owen and I bought it when the kids were 5 and 7, Iris and Lionel. So many memories were held within these walls. But every year after Owen left, the house just felt emptier, quieter. As I made my bed, my gaze fell on the picture on my bedside table, Owen and me on our 30th wedding anniversary. His eyes, looking up at me from that photo, were full of the same tenderness as the day we first met. Rose, you're the strongest woman I know, he often told me. I wonder what he'd say if he saw how his son was treating me now. At exactly 2 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Lionel was always punctual. I opened it and there he was, standing next to Veronica, my sister-in-law. They were an odd pair. He was tall and thin with a perpetually preoccupied expression, and she was a petite blonde with a sharp stare and thin lips that rarely formed a genuine smile. Mom. Lionel hugged me, then immediately pulled away, eyeing me with an appraising gaze. You look good. Veronica baked you a blueberry pie. Veronica handed me a container of perfectly formed pie. No sugar, she said, as if she were doing me a huge favor. We're watching your health. I thanked her and invited them into the living room. While Veronica sat down, arranging the cups I'd gotten from the cupboard, Lionel paced around the room, scrutinizing every corner. Mom, how long ago did you call the plumber? There's a stain on your ceiling in the hallway. Looks like a leak. There's no leak, Lionel. I tried to keep my voice calm. It's the shadow from the tree outside the window. It's always been there. Are you sure? He frowned. I can get my man to check it out. You know that little problems can turn into big expenses if they're not fixed in time. I just nodded, knowing it was useless to argue. Full story on channel, link below. Watch what happened next.